So let's break down this term as a class. We see in this first word, bivariate, we have bi. What does bi mean? Can somebody raise a hand? Or I just saw it, perfect. 2. So bi means 2. What do we think variate might mean? What does that sound like?
Sounds like variable.
It sounds like variable. Okay, so if we think that this might mean 2 variable data, can anybody interpret that a little bit further? What do we think that means? Based on what we've talked about so far.
You asked about what data means?
What 2 variable data? So like that's what the word broken down means, but what can we develop that definition a little bit further?
Data with like 2 factors, or like 2 sets of data.
Yeah.
Or like in one set, you know?
Yeah. So we're going to have 2 different factors, 2 different variables in these sets of data, and they might be related or they might not. So they may have no association, meaning that they're completely independent from each other, or they might have some sort of association that we'll learn how to describe. Okay. So this specific type of table, when we're talking about bivariate data, is called a frequency table. So you're looking at how many occurrences happen, and we'll develop this type of table a little bit later. I want to introduce you to the other way that we can represent bivariate data, which is on a scatter plot. So I'm going to give you this paper now, and you have 4 different blanks. So we're going to start just as a class, we're going to graph height and shoulder breadth on the graph that says graph 1. So a scatter plot, a really important thing, is the whole goal of a scatter plot and a frequency table is to figure out what the association between these 2 variables is. So the goal of what you're viewing on this window is to figure out how we can see the data best. So in this case, we don't have any data points between 0 and 30, I think, right?
Right.
So it is completely okay on a scatter plot to start at a number other than 0.
Okay.
So based on that, Jillian, what number do you want to start at?
Well, I don't want it to all be like smushed over here.
Yeah.
So maybe start like, I think 30 would be good.
30, and what increment do you want to go by?
Probably 5s and 2s
Maybe
maybe.
2s? So we're going to start at 30 and every line will be an increment of 2. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you maybe talk to me a little bit about the scale for the y-axis?
So I was kind of looking at like the range, just like the minimum and max. I'm trying to see like the best way to kind of divide that up into only 12 sections, or I guess 12 boxes. And it looks like if you start with like, I was kind of thinking if we start with like 136 at the very bottom, like where our 0 would usually be on like a normal graph, and went by 3, it may work out kind of well.
That's a whack.
Okay.
But
Interesting.
Yeah, we can go with that.
It's
So we'll
just
start
a
at
thought.
136
Interesting.
and go up by 3.